taking pictures before we start our council meeting. Phone me up and. What's that?
You can certainly do it after.
You ready, Don? Let's pull some more down here.
Further closer. It's a fairly short agenda, so we can do it either before.
I like to stay for the whole thing.
Oh, perfect, okay, yeah, then we'll do it after. All right. So we're almost 5:03, couple minutes.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You travel with
You have a question, is there a copy of the full agenda of this meeting tonight, and also have the consent agenda items on, everything that usually supposed to be on available at the door.
Should be able to fit that three reminder there down on the corner. We don't understand anything going on. They're on the. What are you doing? 5:30? Monday, November 24th.
Council Grants?
Here.
Darla? Here. Eckman?
Here.
Matheson? Here. And Scott? Here.
All right, thank you. Please stand for the pledge, please.
Space for them.
All righty, moving on to the consent agenda. Everybody had a chance to read through that. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as written. Motion from Councilor Jarvis, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilor Matheson, all those in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, one. Moving on to the guests and citizens forum, we do have a guest today, Paul Peltier from Range Association of Municipalities in Fort Moran. I think we plan to give a little presentation. Feel free to sit or stand at the podium or whatever you would like.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Mayor Council. My name is Paul Peltier, the Executive Director of RAMS, the Range Association of Municipalities in Fort. Thanks for allowing me to be here tonight and kind of walk you through some of the things RAMS is doing right now, as well as most importantly, to listen to what the concerns of the city is like. So during this time, I'll be speaking a little bit about what we're up to at RAMS, how it affects the tackling assistance area, and what issues are on people's minds. But the whole time, I'd like you to think about what you would like me to know about what's going on in Whitney's before I leave here and we can engage in a small discussion around. As many of you know, RAMS was founded in 1939. A group of mayors decided to push back against the Oliver Mining Company, taking local wealth from our communities in the form of the war, not paying their fair share to the cities, counties, and school districts from which they took that ore. We are the vanguards of the production tax. We protect its beneficial use within the bounds of the taconite assistance area, and we do our best to stop those who seek to take it outside of our area and use it for their own benefit. Case in point, 2 years ago, there was a senator from a place not here who decided to try and unilaterally expand the taconite assistance area with the help of the range delegation. We opened the channel for that person, as well as our legislative partners at the state level, and fought out against that and killed the bill. So that would be one aspect of what Rand does, we protect. The second thing is we help grow our membership and grow their knowledge in certain topics, whether it's brownfields, whether it's engagement on the salt-based standard as it affects wildlife and taxman production, whether it's protecting the critical infrastructure that's necessary to grow our mining footprint as a region. We make sure that we have a channel of communication open with our statewide decision makers so that we can have a seat at the table. Without that seat at the table, the range is on the menu. And so we know that we're better together than in small little units, which is why we work together. And what does that look like? 71 local units of government, cities, townships, and school districts working together all in this 7-county region, from Aiken County up to Cook County and everywhere in between. But tonight I want to talk about why RAMS is so special. It's because we have a board of 24 members who are elected officials from all those different municipalities and school districts. They come from all over the Taconite Assistance area. They get together once a month. We talk about the issues of the day. We take action and we set an agenda for the future. One of those items that we set as an agenda for the future is our legislative priority. So as you're thinking, what can RAMS do to be helpful to the city of Point Lakes? Are there legislative things? Are there blight things? Are there tax forfeit issues that are still ongoing from that legacy of the Tyler case? We also know that seasonal rec conservation replacement aid, we're very hopeful for your school district. We can do municipality tonight, but we do all live within the soup of the school district and the soup of a county. So as county program aid is maybe reduced at the state level, that affects them. We all live within that too, right? So we also, even though counties aren't our direct members, we fight for that. Sustainable forest aid, local government aid. What would your budgets be like if we didn't have local government aid? Would it be a problem? Would you be able to cope? What's that conversation look like? How are we able to educate our statewide legislators, not just those here, statewide, about the importance of what we do in this region and why we need to protect it, why everyone is a state, making sure Point Lakes is strong. So we have a board of 24. I've included some information. Thank you to Brennan for emailing that out to you guys. I really do appreciate that. I don't expect you to have read it all. I certainly don't. But just know that I'm here. If you need anything from me, my phone number is 218-431-1317. We do have business cards to leave with you before I go, as well as a small notebook. You can put the naughty list on it for Christmas or the nice list, whatever you want, or the grocery list, doesn't matter. Yours to do with as you will. But our members are spread throughout the Taconite Assistance area, and we try to have geographic balance in all of those things. Because having a network of board members means I can pick up the phone at any time and find out what's going on in almost any end of the room. That's pretty cool. Because I can't be everywhere, even though I do my best to try and get around as much as I can. There are limits, but having a network of friends and helpers is the best. 27 cities, 31 townships, 15 school districts, a lot of members. How do you keep everybody happy? Well, you can't, that's not your job, right? It's not my job. My job is to provide a forum for them to talk about their issues, so they can educate one another. So if you know what's going on in the city of Virginia, or Grand Rapids, or Ely, or in the Mason School District, you're a better informed local leader, because you understand what's going on in these other groups. So if you have any questions about how you can engage with RAMS, one of the first things I would ask you to do is to subscribe to the RAMS newsletter. We send out a newsletter once every 2 weeks. Hopefully, if you are not getting that, you can access that through your mayor, the sign up link. And one of the things that we're going to keep doing is we're going to keep meeting with the mayors. Mayor Scott has been a member attending our mayor's meetings, so he's an engaged mayor, and your city is well served by that engagement. There's no professional development group for mayors on our end, but RAMS provides that. And so one of the things that you can also do is say, what if you have an interest in brownfield remediation? Do you have a site within the city of Point Lakes that you'd like to fix up? Does it have dirty dirt? Does it need a phase 1, a phase 2, or a wrap? If you're interested in things like that, come to some of our brownfield events, whether it's a virtual brownfield that we're hosting like tomorrow at noon online, or if it's an in-person. We had one in Hamlet, Virginia, and in Hibbing. We'll have one in January in Ely, and then we'll follow up in February in Grand Rapids. So if this community would like to host a brownfield event, we can highlight some of the work that's going on in this community as well. So be open to that conversation with your administrator and your local officials as well. So what we're doing is we're raising up the knowledge base for our local officials that sometimes see over the churn. That they have a person that's new to the position or new to the scope, and they kind of lose some of that institutional memory. That's not the same in everyone. Sometimes you have a rock star who's been doing it forever and they're really great at it. That might be what the rest person who was the custodian of that information, or the administrator, or you have other kinds of people. So what do you do when you need that help? Come around, find a network, we will connect you, we can help that as much as we can. You all also have your own networks, so don't underestimate the power of your own. We host a housing meetup every Monday at 9:30 a.m. It's a virtual meeting, and housing professionals from all over the region get together with a funder from the IRB, Minnesota Housing, or private philanthropy, or city officials working in the municipal space, or private lenders and private developers. They're at that conversational table. This is just some of the things that RAM has to offer. I'd also like to throw out there that we have our annual dinner coming up on December 9th. My hope is that you will come and attend as our guests. It's free for you as members of RAM. Held at the Iron Trail Motors Event Center, starting at 5, the dinner starts at 6:30. Social hour at 5, the dinner starts at the program starts. So, all that being said, one of the big areas of focus work that we have had is around the sulfate standard for water is used for the production of wild rice. We know that has been a very troublesome standard for our producers. It directly impacts the amount of capital you receive. If there is no production, there is no production. Currently, the city of Point Lakes receives $672,000 in taconite production. Correctly, so this area has been well served by mining for a very long time. So we want to protect the beneficial use and continued beneficiation of that resource within our region. The Mesabi School District has received $1.4 million in the last year for that. You know that levies are tight, difficult conversation, whatever, doesn't matter what level of municipal government you're at, school district, city, county, it's all a very difficult conversation right now. That's tolerant and very hard not to grasp. So anything we can do to alleviate those pressures and protect those beneficial resources for you, we are going to do that. Again, my goal here is to tell you a little bit about what we do, offer some context to some of the programming that we have, as well as just let you know that I will be here and I am here for you. You can always reach out to me at any time. I might as well have my phone number tattooed on my forehead because everybody and their brother and sister has it. So, again, I'll have cards as well as a little notepad for you so you can write some notes or whatever. But I'd like to just open it up to you and say thank you for letting me be here. What can Rams and I do to be of service to my faith?
Yes, thank you for coming and sharing your information. I mean, recently with the KETAC and sulfate standards, I think that was very important to the region. So I think continuing to advocate and then grow for mining efforts. All that really relate with the sulfate standard for water. That's really important.
We know that it's going to impact municipal wastewater.
So that we've joined in with Aurora and the town of White with our East Range Water Project. So that's a pretty big thing. So there's a piece of that like bonding, funding for different projects like that on the end is very important. Going in the next couple of years, it's probably going to be tight on the state and different things that help fund, but anyway, to advocate for different projects like that, infrastructure, those are important. Recently, has to do with what quickly proposed mandate,
Like the paid family medical leave.
yeah. There were some concerns with that, even though, I mean, there's a good thing, yeah. And there's probably associated with that, having like smaller, departments to be able to have enough staff if everyone to be leaving behind.
What communication has there been from state decision makers on some of the local problems that you've been facing?
I don't think we've gotten too far into speaking with, I mean, the higher ups in the state. I don't think it's been implemented long enough to be running into too many issues, but there's concerns for down the road what issues with that, with more updates.
Is an affordability component, an implementation component, or all of the above?
So those are the big ones that pop up to me. But you do a good job of keeping in contact with cities and schools to know what the issues are. A lot of these programs need to use. Is there anything else that anybody else has in city specific wise that you want to make sure Paul addresses or athletes born or?
You did mention water, but were you aware of what was going on?
No, could you be more specific? I mean, are you talking about how the sulfate standard applies to the wastewater, or is there another?
Well, with the City of White Lakes joining the East Range Water Board, water we source from a different lake than the one here in town is going to make for cleaner wastewater, for one thing. I don't know where they're at. And Kenny would probably have an idea of where the water treatment is on the wastewater in town with our current water source, but I guess right now the concern would be funding with what's going on.
Funding the expansion?
Yeah, and we're talking a lot of money. I didn't know if you were aware of it or if the board had involved you in it or at any point in time. I don't know if the funding is available through you or if nothing else, support with the legislation for that. I don't know what's been reached out. I'm playing catch up myself here on the board since last summer. So it's a learning experience for me too.
Absolutely. So I'm always interested to learn more about what the effect is in the municipality, how that change needs to be paid for or navigated. So
Well,
always happy to learn.
That's the big thing, and there's a lot of talk on the affordability factors on what we're going to have to charge people for the new water system once it's up and running. We're drawing on that.
Be happy to follow with you on.
There's a lot of pieces you're happy with that project right now. He's been spearheading a lot of the great, for, and probably will be for this. And whatever other help we can get.
Same like places like Gilbert and Virginia, I mean, you're probably same issues with utilities. Probably maybe a range issue. Anybody have anything else for Paul? Any questions, comments, things you want to know? Yeah, that's all I had. We have our contact information and make sure that reach out to you.
Appreciate it. I'll stick around if it's all right with you and listen to the rest of the council meeting, and then at the end, if it's okay with you, I can take a picture of the newsletter and see yourself in print and not the links. So it's a good place to be. All right, perfect, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Paul was our guest. Is there anybody else, citizen wise that has any, comments that they'd like to make? Hearing none, we'll move on to a report from city staff, city administrator White.
I don't know, we'll be talking about that for next week.
Recreation director Peter. Library director Lincoln.
I don't have anything even more.
Public Works director Messinger.
Three quick things. Monday the 10th, we had our first water break of the year. A little bit earlier than normal. Normally we start in on this time of year within a week, give or take Thanksgiving. Went well, has been a weekend, had a lot of finished it up that day. I just want to remind residents, there was an ad posted in the paper about removing items from your curb line or the boulevard. As I drive around town, I still know a few people have basketball hoops out and several other things that you can slide them back. If we do have a snow year and we go around and try and find the street where or plowing. We don't mind them being out in the summertime or through fall, but this time of year they've got to leave. And then just a quick update on the St. Louis County Road project through down here. Kennedy Drive is pretty much wrapped up. As you can see, the street lights were lit last Friday. That pretty much wraps up Kennedy Drive. Kensington or 665 has a little bit of landscaping left to do. They ran out of time this season, so the county gave grace to Northland Constructors to come back and finish it in the spring. They did put Some hydro seeding on it by no means is that the final grade or final product that is the, there will be some sod and hydro seeding done in the spring. As well as the bike trail along Kensington. The blacktop crew did not finish the area between the head ramps and the trail itself. So we filled those in with gravel just to avoid tripping hazard, make it easier for us to plow and we'll be done in the spring. All that,
Kenny, I've got two dumb questions for you.
nothing done.
Well, the first one is water main break. With no frost in the ground, what caused that this time of year?
If I had an answer for that, I don't know that we have it, but, what I generally see more than anything, it's not always the frost or the extreme cold weather. What I see normally trigger main breaks is a shift in the, when you start to see like a 50-degree temperatures. So if you
In
roll
the air, or are you talking?
yeah, believe it or not.
So it actually is enough to shift the ground and
Yep.
move it enough.
So like in the winter time, I always get nervous when it goes from 20 below to 30 above. Just about know that one's gonna rain, or same thing this time of year now, yeah. By no means was it frost, there was no frost associated with this at all, but the ground started to shift and. I don't know what it is about it, but that's the only thing I can make in their tales of when we get water main breaks. There's big temperatures like. So it's not uncommon this time of year. Last year, I think we had our first one in October, so this year was really good.
The other one was up in the northeast corner of the field, right across from the, snowmobile.
Yeah.
Grooming trail building, and they left that little bit of dirt there, you know, if that's gonna be pulled out or what?
It's probably staying there for the year. I tried getting an answer for that today as well.
Okay.
I think that's the remainder of the dirt that needs to be placed before landscaping or before like sod. They hauled it in, but didn't get the project
They
done,
just moved it up.
you know.
Makes it look like it's there to stay,
You know,
kids are gonna be jumping it.
I'm guessing. But yeah, I'm still trying to get an answer as to whether or not it's staying or if they're gonna come get it or it's gonna freeze there and it'll be there all winter. I prefer it's not, but I'm trying to get an answer on that as well.
Like I said, it just struck me as one of the dumb things.
You know, me too.
All right, thank you, Kenny, EMS Director Olmsted.
The new ambulance came Saturday. To afternoon. Been working for a half day, so I want, get the stuff in there and ready for it, so we'll be using it, it's not, it's not radios or anything, but it's good enough to use, so. It's going to be that.
City Attorney Lucy,
Thanks, Mayor. I don't have any comment.
moving on to reports from elected officials, Councilor Green,
Nothing to report tonight.
Councilor Jarlov,
I have nothing tonight.
Councilor Pittman,
I just want to remind people that, fire department Christmas party is December 17th. And the free event in community.
thank you for that. Councilor Hanson,
Nothing.
me, Sherry and I, Dean, and some other folks from the city that attended, a closing meeting with the North Colorado Development Company. They had that funded through the East Range and Colorado Board, right, Sherry?
Yep.
And they just provided, information on kind of how things could be funded, what the housing needs are, what their recommendations are. So that'll be a process over the next year or so. We'll continue meeting with them, potentially looking at building some housing here, White Lakes. The folks that have reached out to me, well, what their concerns are and what they would want, in the city. I provided those to, the development company, so. They know that. Other than that, they don't have any big updates. Moving along, Nothing for full business, so moving on to new business, 11.1, American Power 50-year lease agreement offer. Do you mind speaking to that, Dean?
Sure. So American Power, this is not the Verizon Power. So this is the existing power. So they reached out, as you can see, they're offering a 50-year prepaid, offer in the city of White Lakes, a one-time lump sum payment of $235,000 for installments of $2,300 a month. On the back side of this, you're going to see, it's on 2 pages. We're currently in a 20-year contract with American Power, and I think we're year number 4 or 5 into it. For 20-year lease agreement with them, the grand total comes out to $224,000. So they're offering us a 50-year lease for $230,000. So the math doesn't add up in my head, but if you're a private landowner with the Tucker Bennett, yeah, that probably makes sense. You just take the lump sum and buy it. But, yeah, I just want to get that from you. If you're not on it. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is that the tower that just got on the way to the golf course?
Yeah.
How many feet is that extend? They're about 200 feet?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't think so. That'd be added. So Verizon will be built to a tower right next to that one, is ground. So they stand there and network. But that's different than this one.
What kind of budget does this monthly cable go to, just general?
General fund, under franchise fees.
So this year, from them, we're getting $856. For 10 months. I mean, I'm not like that. Yeah, the one that they're presenting now is 50 years or longer. I mean, the monthly payment would be more, but again, it's over a longer.
It'll be 20 in the current 20.
Right.
But then you're locked into 50 years.
Mhm.
Or a little lot. And from what I think his name is Dave, told me they're all the power companies are trying to go longer, and this is for buying long, and 50-year leases are pretty common now. This one doesn't quite make sense to me.
I guess on my end, I'm thinking just continuing along with the 20-year, lease agreement, and more sense to me. Does anybody have any other thoughts or opinions regarding, changing and either the lump sum of $235,000 or
It's almost the same amount.
right, for longer.
Maybe more years.
Right, yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean anything.
But you got used to the money right now.
Right.
And we just have to do our work, but there's ways of figuring out what the future value of the current funds is, but still, like she said, it's almost the same amount and 30 more years.
Right.
Yeah, granted, we get the money to use immediately, but this doesn't work.
Right. I think there's a pretty strong consensus with that. Any other comments or questions regarding hearing on, look for a motion to deny this current offer of the yeah, motion from Councilor Jarvis, second from Councilor Ekman to deny the current offer for the 50-year prepaid offer. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And that is all we have for the agenda, for the new business. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Hold on, one thing. No,
Right.
So I talked to you here recently about the file out of the recycle center, the wood pile. I've been approached again by members of the fire department. Is there any way, and first off, it was regarding the cost of having a company come in and chip out the pile.
Mhm.
Then I know we used to burn it, fire department used to burn this pile.
Correct.
And there's people in the fire department who like to start that again, and save the city the $3,000 to $5,000 we have to pay.
Sure, I looked into that as well, when I took over in this role, that was my goal, was to possibly start having it burned as well. And within the first year of my 10 year in this job, COVID happened and we were advised due to clean air quality or whatever, everybody was pointing the finger at, again, at not burning it. Now, if that's no longer the case, fine, I'd like to burn it. But if you remember back when we did burn it in the past, it used to be located across the road from where it is now. Basically where the pile of chips is at, from when they do chip it.
When you say across the road,
Yeah, that little loop that goes around the brush pile. So right now, what they do is they set up on the road, they grind it and shoot it across the road into a pile. So where the pile of chips is now,
okay,
that's where the brush pile used to be stacked. When we started this venture of grinding the brush pile, the previous public works director chose to have it moved and located for ease and to make room for the piles of chips that we would compost and turn into black dirt. When he moved the pile to its current location, he put it right on top of the gas.
so it can't be burnt where it's at, it has to be moved.
I'm trying to get a straight answer out of the gas company, how far away from the line we need to be. And I've got 3 different answers. I've got 25 feet, I've got 50 feet, and I've got 100.
The heat put up by that, at 25 feet would be no good,
I'm
you
getting,
know, it's for a fire in my backyard, that's what they tell.
yeah, so anyhow, there is a gas line that runs from over by the bike trail, kitty corner across the property to the building that's out there now,
Okay.
and it goes right along the edge of the property.
So brush pile was moved, and then
If the brush pile was moved, we could possibly burn it, so.
I'm just, in my mind, what their mind do was $3,000 to $5,000, that's when you come in and chip.
Yeah, I've always thought it was crazy.
That's a chunk of change,
Yeah,
and the city could better spend that elsewhere.
It's free training for them.
Well, for sure, but,
you know, there will be some cleanup involved after,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure what we used to burn
it
it.
took 2 or 3 days of monitoring.
Yeah, and prepare yourselves for the argument, people in town, and you'll notice when Wadik burns theirs or City of Virginia burns theirs. Facebook erupts and the papers and everything else with the smell of smoke and. So be prepared to deal with that, but. You know, you're gonna have to play the wind, you know, if it's in certain smolders. If it's in certain smolders. Depends how big a file you, how big you want the file to get.
Depends on how often they burn them.
Correct. But then if it sits in smolders for a week after and the wind switches directions and blows back into town.
That could get ugly, yeah, there was, and I remember there were times that happened too.
Well, people complain when there's too many.
Just saying, that's gonna be one of the things we'll deal with.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
So yeah, we'll move on to adjournment, is there a motion for that?
Make that motion.
Motion from Councilor Becker, is there a second? Second from Councilor Trevor, all those in favor?
I.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
We're good. Sure.